Hello and welcome on the Watches TV, and today we'll get back on the results of the GPHG, the main award ceremony of the watchmaking industry, which just took place in Geneva and celebrated 14 different watches in just as many categories, plus the watch judged best of the best of 2019, plus some added special jury prizes to make everybody happy. And I say this because the results often seem slightly political, despite the fact that jury members don't really know for whom other judges are voting for. Anyhow, it was a good and pleasant ceremony. Always nice to see most of the big watchmaking family together. And if I say most, it's because unfortunately many brands do not participate. Actually too many, so almost no Swatch Group brands, almost no Richemont brands, no Patek, no Richard Mille, no FP Journe. Obviously no Rolex, but that's no surprise, plus a few others, so naturally the results or even the 6 shortlisted watches per category don't necessarily reflect what has come out throughout the year. And sometimes I can also add that participating watches are actually watches we've already seen a few years back with the addition of a little splash of color. Okay, might be a little bit exaggerating here, but you get the idea. So nevertheless, the good news is that the organizers of the Grand Prix have confirmed that for next year's edition, its 20th edition, well, the format will seriously evolve when it comes to these jury voting procedures, and in particular the selection of participating watches. So the current jury of 20 or so members will be expanded to some kind of international academy of 300 to 400 members, but today's jury will apparently still remain. Yes, there are still things which can't really change too drastically. So some kind of a mix, and full details will be disclosed later this month during the Dubai Watch Week, and I'm really looking forward to know more about it, and I will naturally share my thoughts after this. But again, things seem to go in the right direction, and hopefully with the main positive consequence of finally having more brands taking part. But, and this is a serious but one has to acknowledge that we are in a big ego industry, and brands don't like not to win. Being shortlisted and losing to its competitor is definitely not well lived by HQ, especially among the big players. So, but seriously, for me, this big ego dimension is only relevant on the B2B side of things, with brands boasting between themselves, because on the consumer side and on the B2C side of things, well, I really think it doesn't make any huge differences, or let's say any harmful differences. I mean, at the best, one will only remember the winner. There is no real second best. And the fact of winning is just a nice little bonus for that brand, and will help it communicate proudly about it in its boutiques, advertising, digital campaigns, and so forth. So it gives you a little edge which needs to be cleverly leveraged. So to make a parallel with Hollywood and the Oscars, are you not going to see that film that was shortlisted but didn't win, but you like the actors, the director, and so forth? Well, I doubt it, and you will still go to the cinema. And on the contrary, you might be positively influenced to see a film that won, which you hadn't previously thought of going to see. In my opinion, it's a bit the same here, and if you think about it, being shortlisted, being Academy Award nominated, is already a big enough element of pride used by movie producers to promote their movies, and being nominated, shortlisted by the GPHG, going on this world tour, is already some kind of victory, something which the small brands have totally seized, and they are using this very intelligently. I mean, this free space that the big brands are actually offering them by not participating. So anyhow, on these good considerations, let's now talk results, and let's say that it was a good evening for Audemars Piguet, one of the big brands which has participated in almost every edition, so hats off for them for this, but actually never made it to the top prize. And politically speaking, in a certain way, it felt a bit like the jury want to make AP as happy as possible in order not to lose them and rejoin the group of non-participating brands mentioned before. So AP were not only won best of the best, the Aiguille d'Or for its Royal Oak ultra thin Perpetual calendar, a timepiece introduced as a concept watch at the SIHH a couple of years ago, but commercially launched this year with huge success, a timepiece with an immense amount of R&D behind it, and personally would have loved to discover more on the behind the scenes of this development. Well, maybe one day they will let our cameras in. That would be sweet. Okay, next prize for AP came in a category which also smells slightly politics, called the iconic category. celebrating watches which need to exist since at least 25 years. And this one was awarded to the Royal Oak Jumbo Extra Thin, so nothing really politics in attributing this to AP, well deserved, but obviously 25 years of existence limits a bit the type of players that can enter this category, meaning only big and historic brands. And it really feels like it's a way to appeal to this kind of brands, but fair enough. And of course, I mean, it's a nice watch, a classic, nice size, 39mm. I think it would suit me pretty fine. And third and final prize of AP came in the men's complication category, which definitely illustrated rather well this ego thing I was mentioning before. Because for AP CEO, and I think we could all witness this kind of a revenge moment, as was rewarded the Supersonnerie version of the Code 1159, a collection fully carried by Mr. Benamias, a collection which stirred quite a lot of controversy this year. So this was really a moment of, you see, I told you so. Okay, next big winner of the evening was Kari Voutilainen with 2 prizes, and we just love the man, his humbleness, kindness and talent. So best man's watch for the 28 Ti, a timepiece where they flip the movement around, balance wheel facing dial side, a great timepiece letting you enjoy both its technicality and high-end finishing. A watch we covered during Baselworld if you want to know more about it, link below. And the second prize for Best Artistic Craft Watch for the absolutely gorgeous Starry Night Vine, a sublime timepiece, an astounding level of craftsmanship, taste, talent, cooperation, just impressive and beautiful. And I had the great privilege of seeing it real close, and this timepiece just emits beauty, as simple as that. And I take this opportunity to mention that we will publish in 2 weeks one of those great walkthrough visit videos dedicated to Kari Voutilainen and his great setup. But for our patrons, our beloved club members, well, this video is already available for them. So just saying patron has its perks. Become club member on Patreon. Go for it! Anyhow, other double winner of the evening was BVLGARI with yet another prize coming for its Octo Finissimo, this time in the chronograph category, for this rather incredible ultra-flat version, actually the world's thinnest chrono ever produced. Also more info on it on our Baselworld coverage with the mighty fun and cool Fabrizio Buonamassa. And second prize for the best jewelry watch with the spectacular Serpenti Misteriosi Roani, the most expensive watch, if one can say so, ever produced by BVLGARI, a daring demonstration of gem-setting savoir-faire and creativity. Best ladies watch went for Chanel for the new version of the J12, a watch introduced already some 19 years ago and still a big success for them. And here what was rewarded was the fact that it comes now with a full new mechanical movement specifically developed for it. Best complicated ladies watch, and this was really no big surprise, as this prize went to MB&F and the fantastic Flying T, this very original vertically stacked movement with its flying tourbillon culminating at its top under this round bubbly sapphire glass, and going by the screams of MB&F aficionados when Max went to pick it up. That was just another testimony of the brand's high popularity almost, and it almost felt like a groupie moment. Funny. Okay, in the calendar category, the award went for HERMES and its L'Heure de la Lune, and this of course made me tremendously happy. I love this watch, really one of my favorite of the year. And again, if you want to know more about this dual sub-dial satellite time and date display, how it works, well, I clearly invite you to check the behind-the-scenes video we produced about it. Such a clever and poetic mechanical system, and extremely intricate. And good news didn't end up there for HERMES, as this watch performed extremely well at the Only Watch auction, but we'll get back on this crazy edition of the charity auction tomorrow with a totally spectacular report. I mean, be a little bit patient, getting there. Okay, next, and in the chronometries category, and in a certain way, this is what watchmaking is all about. Celebrating mechanical performance and precision. Well, this prize went to Ferdinand Berthoud for a special version of its FB1, a beautiful timepiece, and again, more info on it with our past coverage. Personally, just love this long and elegant central seconds hands, really do, and also I really like how Ferdinand Berthoud have managed to make this timepiece evolve with clever evolution, though probably its most beautiful aspect is one that you don't see when you're wearing it, with this beautiful fusée chain tourbillon movement seen on the back side. like, you know, a little secret in a certain way. Okay, best man's complication went to a totally new brand called Genus with an original time display system with kind of a moving chain, or like a little train moving inside the dial. Really nice finishing on this watch, gold main plate and bridges. So hopefully soon we'll bring you more on this one too. So beside these categories, best divers went to Seiko, challenge prize, meaning watches below 4,000 Swiss francs, went to Tudor, the Petite Aiguille for watches under 10K went to German brand Kudoki, and then the jury awarded some special prizes. The Audacity prize, which went for URWERK, and it's totally crazy AMC, I mean that's the 21st century interpretation of the pendule sympathique dear to Breguet some 200 years ago, but this time coming with an atomic mother clock. And yes, we covered this amazing piece in a previous and extensive report, and for me, Audacity just fits perfectly what URWERK inspires me. Then a special innovation prize went to Vacheron Constantin with its traditional twin-beat timepiece with its two regulating organs enabling to push power reserve up to 65 days. And I thought this watch could actually win the overall competition, but nice recognition of what this great development means. And again, well, you know the drill. And yes, we covered it previously. Okay, final prize, called Revelation Prize, went to a new and fresh brand called Bing. And to be totally honest, well, didn't really know much about them before, but will for sure dig a bit more because was quite impressed by the few things I saw there. So this is it for the best watches of 2019, according to the GPHG. Yes, according to the GPHG, and you may have different opinions, and this is really fine. So I talked about some of the limits of the actual system. Hope we'll see some positive evolution. And congrats to all the winners, all the brands that participated, more than 100, nevertheless. So it's already quite a lot, but just not the big players. And yes, I firmly believe in the relevance of an award ceremony. The industry deserves it. But it would be nice if everyone could make the difference between the B2B dimension of the event and the B2C impact of it. I mean, the GPHG will not save the watch industry, but it's a necessary and relevant event, so long life to it. Just hope we'll see it evolve positively, but we'll know about this very shortly. So thanks for watching, and don't miss tomorrow's other video report dedicated to Only Watch. We indeed lived a crazy, totally crazy moment. 31 million. And remember, for those who can't wait and want to see the walkthrough, the video dedicated to Kari Voutilainen, well, there is always this Patreon/club opportunity. All the very best, see you real soon, and a huge Viva Watchmaking to you!